Hello everyone, this video is about introducing React, how to add Bootstrap to React, understanding some major functional components of React. So without wasting any time, let's get started here. React is a front-end JavaScript open source library. It is used to create web pages. And to start with React, please install VS Code IDE and go to your browser and search create React app. Go to the first link, it is reactjs.org, and scroll down until you find this command. Copy this command and paste it into your Visual Studio terminal and then run that command. Once you do that, it may take a couple of seconds or even minutes. It will install all the packages and folders for your React app. So currently it will look like this. And then the main folders you will have is public and src. And for now, let's just focus on src folder because we will not be touching public folder as often. So in src folder, we have bunch of files. We don't even need all of them for now. I'll just clean up all the files. In the public folder, we have some index.html. We might be using this file to add our Bootstrap scripts. So that's all we will be doing in public folder. And in src folder, we can get rid of some files here. I'll just quickly delete them. Make sure once you delete them, you remove all the imports regarding those files. If you don't do that, it's gonna show a bunch of errors. So we will be only keeping three files here: app.js, index.css. We can keep that. If we want, we can delete that as well. We'll be using Bootstrap anyways. So once you run your app, so you will need to type a command npm start. This will run your app. Make sure you are in correct folder. Right now I'm not in the correct folder. I need to go to my React, so I'll do cd my React. Now I'm in the correct folder. So from here I can do is npm start and hit enter. It will run my React app. For now, since I have cleared all the files and folders, so it might not show anything. But for you, if you just install the app and do npm start, it will show some React page. I'll get. I don't think so. I need this, but let's lead this. And in React, in index.js, since I have removed so many files, I do not have this. I'll remove this from here. I'll remove this. We need React, React DOM, and app. These three files, these three imports should not be touched. And we will remove this line at the very bottom as well. In app.js, you can get rid of these two imports since we are not having these files anymore. And in app.js, this code you guys can see looks like an HTML code, but let me tell you, this is not HTML, this is JSX. So the only difference, there is some minor differences between JSX and HTML. So in JSX, you can use JavaScript as well, making sure you put curly braces around the JavaScript. And for now, I'll just quickly remove this. We don't need this. And then in index.js, so when you do npm start, the first file that runs is index.js. So inside index.js, you can see it is indicating the IDE to run app.js when the ID is root. So whenever you run your npm start, it's gonna run app.js. So whatever code you wanna write, it should be in app.js. So this is how you can clear up all the files. All you The basic two files are app.js and index.js. So now I'll quickly go and add some components and show how does React make pages. So for that, I will go to Bootstrap. over here, once you go to the website, you will click Docs. Inside Docs, under the point number 2, include Bootstrap, CSS, and JS. You need to copy two script files and put that in your index.html file. So the two files you're going to copy is this link, first of all, and make sure you are putting it in the right place in your index.html. It's above head closing head tag. So if I go in my under public in index.html, it was right here. And the second file I need to add is this one. I'll just quickly go and add this. And it's above closing tag of body. So yes, so that's the two main steps you need to do for using Bootstrap code is make sure you have those two files. And now I can go and copy any component from Bootstrap and place that in my. So I'll just go for example, I'll take navbar. I'll take the one at the top, this one. I'll throw that in the. I can do one thing here. I can do two things here actually. Either I can make components and push the call that components in app.js, or I can write the whole code inside app.js itself. So to make the React app look clean and nice, we will be using components and we'll be calling those components in our app.js. To do so, I need to create a folder inside source folder. Right click on source folder and create another folder named components. Inside components, they make a new file called navbar.js since we are adding a navbar. Okay, so here I want to mention one more thing. I have downloaded one extension called ES7, ES7 Plus. Make sure if you are following with me, make sure you add this as well. It really helps you when you have to write code. So now I need to write a function. I do not need to write the whole code. I'll just type RFC, shift and enter. I got the function written down. So now I'll just do is I copied that code and then I'm gonna put that inside in this. So all right, so as you know, Bootstrap, this is HTML code and we are only using JSX inside our functions in React. So to make this code JSX, we need to do a couple of things here. First, we need to change class to class name. For doing that, just hit Control F, change class to class name. Yes, this is the first thing. And the second thing, you have to make sure you have all the closing tags. Since in HTML, we do not need to have the closing tag for HR and inputs. So we will be adding closing tags here. Right, so we got our first component ready. We'll just save this for now. And now I'll call this component inside from our from our app.js. So yeah, here we go. Make sure once you are calling components, you have the imports, you are writing imports as well. If you don't do, you'll get some errors. And I'll save this, and now I'll do is npm start to show you how does this look like. This step might take a couple of seconds, depend upon your computer speed. Yes, so this is because I haven't removed I haven't saved this file yet. And now we should be good. Yes. So here I got my navbar component ready. It looks good. Now I'll tell you what props are and how can use them and how you can use props in your components. So if you go to the app.js, you are calling navbar from app.js. So let's say I want to use this component in my another applic in my and any other applications as well. So I definitely need to change this title to something else. Every time I use that, I need to change this title to make to avoid doing hard code here. I'll just do is I'll create a prop and send the value from prop to the component, and it will be changed automatically. I'll do this now. So what I need to do is I need to pass the title value as, let's say I want to call this text utils, or whatever you want to call this, you can write. And in on my component, if I'm using props on my navbar, so I need to write props. I need to pass props here, and then I need to find the place where I want to add my props. So currently I want to change the title. I'll find my title. It's right here, and then I'll write props dot title. Since this is JavaScript, I need to put that inside curly braces. So now if I save this, it should show the changes here. It's right there. So this is how you use your props. You just send a value from app.js, and then you can change any title. I can even change these values. I can change link to something else. I can set this as prop, and then I can reuse these components again and again according to my website. This is how you can use props. Now one thing more about props I want to bring up real quick is that I can set the default data types. I can set data types for my prop values. Let's say in this example we use title. So I want to make sure that I'm only sending string as title, not any other data type. I can do is I can make a function navbar dot prop types, and then I can set title as prop types dot string. So what it does is whenever I try to send my title anything else except string, it will show me an error. So this is the function of this thing. Make sure. So if I save this, it's gonna give me an error. I'll quickly show you why. See, this is giving me an error because I missed the import statement. I'll quickly write the import statement. And there's a shortcut for prop types import. It's impt, and it's gonna bring up the import. This function is used to set the data types, and there's one more function which we can use, that is to set a default type. Let's say I'm calling navbar from my app.js, and if I don't send any value, if I don't set titles, but it's still I want something to be displayed, then I can set something default here. So for that, all you have to do is navbar dot default props. All this code is available on React website, so you don't really need to learn them. Set title here. So if I don't send anything, let's say I save this, and in my app.js I do not send any field here. I'll just call navbar. Since I have default type, so it will show me something here. I need to save that file also, and then I need to, it's default props, and then I save this. Now it should bring up set title here. So these are two main other prop things you can do. It's really interesting. And the next part I'll cover is hooks and how you can use useState in hooks. So hooks provide us the ability to use some functions without having to create their classes. So yeah, I'll quickly go over hooks, and I'll try my best to explain that. So now I'll create another component called text forms. Inside my text form, write I will just copy some code from Bootstrap. Go to Bootstrap and here find a form control. I just need a text area, so I won't take whole code. I'll just copy this part only and place that inside here. Change class to class name. And one more thing I need to bring up is like in JSX, you need to change for to HTML4. So just these two, three things you need to take care is like having all the closing tags and changing class to class name and then change for to HTML4. And then I'll just call it from app.js. So text form is what we created. So this is giving me an error. A reason behind this error is in my return statement, I can only return one component. So to return multiple components, there are many ways to do so. Either we can do is write this, or we can create a div component. I'll create a div component actually. Inside my div, I can put as many components and as I can return as many components I want. All right, so I'll save this, and we should see the changes in our React app. Here we go. So what I want to do with this is I want to show how I can. So how can so when I type something in the text form, I want to show that I will store that text in as a variable and then we'll set it as a state. So I can make a button here. I can do some things with that text we are writing on the text form. And this is how I can show how you can change states and you can play around with states. I'll quickly go over and create a button here. Uh, I will do is I'll quickly go and I'll show you how you can take even buttons from Bootstrap. You don't really need to write these codes. You can take help from Bootstrap. It really saves your time. So change to uppercase. So what we'll do is I'll change whatever we type in the text form and change that, convert that to uppercase. So here we have the button ready. I'll save this. We should see the changes in our React app. Here we go. So to do that, I need to show you guys about, I need to show you useState. So if I go to React website and type useState, go here, I need to copy this code and I'll explain why we need to use this for, and I'll have this. So what this code means is we are declaring a variable called text and the default type for the variable text is enter text here. And whenever we want to update this variable, we need to call this set text variable for updating. So this is the state we are setting. The current state for text is enter text here. Whenever we need to update the state, we need to call set text. So usually when you need to change a state, when you need to assign a value to a variable, what we usually do is we call text and write the value to, let's say I write hello. So that's what you usually do, right? But in this state, in this case, if you want to change if you assign a new value to text, you will be calling set text, and then inside the parentheses, you will write whatever you want to change it to. So yes. And now I'll just quickly change. We don't need this name, my text. Whatever you guys want, you can just change this. It's not really a big thing. All right, so now I want to show my text. So the current value for the text is this. I want to show it on the text box. I want to see it inside my text box. So what I'll do is I'll go to the text area tag, and inside the text area tag, I'll write value text. And this, if I save this, it's gonna show me an error. So it's because I did not add useState import right now. So I need to do that. It is very important. You add your imports as you go. Here we go. We have this right inside our text box. That's what we wanted. So whatever we will be typing here, it's gonna set as text variable, and then we can update it. So now I want, like, if you guys see, I can't really type anything inside here. I, I, I can't, and nor I'm able to delete this text. To make this happen, we're gonna make another class. We're gonna make a function, gonna call it handle change on change. We will call it on change. On change does is it allows us to do any modification inside this, allow us to delete it, enter new text inside this on change, and then I'll create a class. Let's say I'll create handle change, and here, so any function you write, it should be before return statement, and it should be after this. So I'll just quickly go and write this constant on handle change. I need to create an arrow function here. So inside this, I will pass events, and then I will do is set. I'll call set text because I need to update the state of the text now. Set text events dot target dot value. And save this. Handle change constant handle change events change. Event is all right. So now, if you guys see, if I save this thing here, handle change, to put that in curly braces, and I do not need this. So now you guys can see I'm able to make any changes inside the text box. I can write anything. If I refresh, it will come back. It's right here. So now I want this is like if I type anything and I click this button, it changes it to uppercase. So to do that, we will be using states like what we did here, and then on click, we'll write a function on click and handle click. So what happens is whenever you hit this button, change to uppercase, it will trigger this function. And in this function, we will change the value handle click. This is going to be arrow function as well. And inside this, we will be creating a new variable, new text. New text is equal to text dot to uppercase, and then we will be setting the text state to the new text. Then I'll save this. And if I go back and if I click this, it changed its state to the uppercase. And if I refresh, it's gone. And if I type something here, I mean, this is how you can implement states. You can use on click to do something, and you can use on change. On change is required when you're using, because without on change, I cannot do any modifications in the text area. So it is really required. And this is how you can pass props as well. You just uh, add the props on the component and then the JavaScript code, and from app.js you call all the components and pass all the values. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching.